Lucky. Thanks for granting me audience today. My name is Claudine, and I'm a student of the Rocky Mountain University School of Professional Health Professionals, and in the DMP program. And I'm glad you had to do this interview with me today. Will you please introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Ms. Claudine. I appreciate you having me over for this interview. Like you said earlier, my name is Lucky Amy, a nurse practitioner from UTLNT, the class of 2019. My practice period so far has been less than 3 years, and I'm really glad being here with you for your interview.
So now tell me, what field are you specialized in? Family nurse practice, acute care, psych?
Family nurse practice, pretty much, FNP specialty.
That's great. And now tell me, how is your setup like? How many doctors you have working under you? How many nurse practitioners? How much is your population, the people who come to your facility on daily basis?
Well, family practice, my clinics, the clinics I've pretty much practiced with, a couple of those. However, most times, most of the family practice settings are owned by private owners, either a nurse practitioner or a physician. So the ones I've worked with pretty much will have one supervisory physician, and I have one clinic where I'm the sole provider there with a supervisory physician, the owner of the clinic. And then we'll have some other clinics too that I've also worked. We have, 2 physicians, and then the family nurse practitioner who is also there to help as my supervisor. And sometimes we'll have some of the nurse practitioner students who come in for clinicals. So patient-wise, we have, it just depends. Sometimes our population can go from, sometimes each day we can see up to 25 patients, depending on, what is going on that day. And we can't really predict what we'll have each day. And our population also, we have mix of pediatrics, just like the name, family practice. We see pediatrics patients, we see adults, we see geriatrics, we see even women health. And sometimes we can have some psych patients, it just depends. So we see pretty much every age group.
Now talking about psych, and you guys are like the family practice. Do you guys work with other specialties, or how do you do with your referrals and stuff like that?
Well, collaboration. We do a lot of collaboration, interdisciplinary team involved, because of course we cannot solely, we don't, just like what we do in the area of our nursing, medicine in general, we do a lot of collaboration. Yes, we have specialties, depending on what is going on with that patient. We have, some specialties involved. When we see a need, we'll do that referral. So we have cardiologists, we have nephrologists, we have, all kinds. We even have physical therapists. Depending on what the patient needs, we'll make that referral. And we don't make that referral and leave the patient. We have to follow up with the patient care to make sure, because some patients you send them, you call, we help them to make that call. We connect them to that, to that doctor. We also make sure they go, because some patients might not go. So we'll follow up to make sure it happens.
That's right. Now tell me, as a new nurse practitioner in the field, what were some of the challenges? Give me one peculiar challenge you faced getting into this profession.
Well, as a novice, we call them novice, the newbies, permit me to use that word. One of the big challenge, the very big challenge for newbie is transitioning. That transitioning from the RN role to an MP role, from taking, carrying out MD's order to actually giving the order for somebody to carry it out. So, and that transitioning to each person, it just depends on individual. So some people have it a big challenge, some just have a different magnitude. Personally, for me, it wasn't a whole huge difference. And what actually set out the difference in magnitude of the, how each person goes through it is, personally, I think is the foundation. Foundation matters a lot. Educational foundation, where did you school? Some school you come out, some people come out as MP and yet they don't know their base, they don't have a base, and they come out being so nervous, and that transition becomes so huge. Why some come out? Personally, I came out from UT Arlington, and I'm not trying to, advertise them, but I pretty much believe that the school really played a part in me, such that when I finished that transitioning, I was really prepared, especially my last semester, I was really prepared for that transitioning. So when I was transitioning from RN to that role of a provider, it wasn't a whole big, I didn't really feel it. So it was a challenge, because why? You have to now look at, you're not looking at just medication administration like an RN, you are looking at, the whole story that the patient is giving you, and you're making, in your head, you're making all kind of differential to come down, to pin it down to one diagnosis, and then you're pulling out, several options of treatment and then intervention. So, that role, it wasn't a big much difference, but yes, that was one of the challenge, but it depends on the foundation you get.
Now tell me, we all know in Texas it is so difficult for an MP to practice solely. How is your facility set? How are you guys coping with this scope of practice where we have to, the MPs have to work on that exhibition?
Well, it is what it is. We're still fighting it. We're still talking about it. We need more voice. We'll continue talking about it. We'll continue, raising our voices that we had. And things, there are people who've been sending delegates. There are delegates who are there, speaking, and we, try to sponsor them and give them the push. We're trying to fight this, but, until it happens where we have that freedom to practice, we still have to stay by the, rules, the laws in the state. We have to abide. And it's really like a caging the MPs, where you don't have a freedom of full practice. Practice authority. You have to do everything under the supervisory physician, for instance, and then a supervisory physician cannot supervise more than 4 MPs, and then an MP cannot write a prescription without a supervisory physician, and then you cannot even put in, you can't even order Schedule 2 medication, you can't even do any schedule control substance without a DEA number, and a supervisory physician, overseeing what you're doing. So yes, it's a restriction, and it kind of reduces what the MP can do. It restricts us, and not just it restricts us, it reduces the access to health care that the patient can get. It delays their care, because the physicians, they are not always there, and it extends the length of time of the waiting time. So, and this is what, Texas in general, we've been trying to, fight to see if we can get that full freedom of practice. That way it trickles down to affect the care, the time, the access to the patient, and overall, it brings that patient-centered care and brings that satisfaction to the patient. And then we also get the satisfaction as well.
Now tell me, aspiring NP, DMP, what advice do you have for me?
Okay, first of all, I would say welcome on board. Because
Thank you.
Though we're having, we have lots of NP in Texas, we wouldn't say we've had enough. We still need some more, so we can team hand together and make our voices heard.
That's
and
true.
See it happen where we can be able to practice in our full capacity. So, but the advice I have for you, just keep hanging on there. You wouldn't allow the scope of practice, the law, the present rules and regulation. I believe that where we are today is not where we started. So we've really made a huge progress. So, and I believe we still make more progress. So as you're coming in, just be positive. I usually tell people, be positive, have the spirit of positivity, and believe that it gets better.
I thank
And
you
then
very
come
much
join
for
us.
this, for the spirit of positivity,
Yes.
and I think that is what is going to carry me through with school.
Right, because if you don't have that positive spirit, you might not be able to make that ends meet.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really want to thank you very much for sparing this time to talk to me. And I will be visiting your clinic, and how about looking out for you to be like a preceptor for me. Thank you very much.
That would be awesome. You are most welcome. I have a lot of students. I've had several students, even though I have, sometimes I have some supervisory NPs over me, yet I've had multiple nurse practitioner students who have trained under me. So I'll be glad to have you as to be your preceptor anytime. Feel free to call me, and and thank you so much for having me also, giving me the privilege to be part of your program.
Thank you very much.
You're highly welcome, Ms. Claudine.